Hello, so just wanted to give you a little update of what we're up to at the moment. So we are working on a Vigilante 11 metre. Now this boat is destined for Ireland. It is a charter passenger vessel, so it comes under slightly different regulations to what the MCA and MECAL are used to. So as I've come into this job sort of halfway through, we're familiarising ourselves with what's been done already and also carrying on with the build. So the engine beds were sort of put in a couple of weeks ago now. Since then I've had the engines in and out probably about 15 times at this point. Okay, so the beds have been made, and what's gone on is the centre lines have been found for the engine, for the coupling, for the gearbox, and then we've installed the stern tubes here into the back of the boat as well as the P brackets at the stern. Okay, so we've aligned the engines in to the stern tubes, to the P bracket, to the rudder stock at the stern, so everything's in line so that we make sure you're not going to have any issues. Now inside the beds in here we've got steel plates, as you can sort of see a bit more over on this one over the other side. Okay, so they will get drill and tapped. Now the thing is, we've got Ivecos going in here, and these are going to be fixed bed mount engines, which means they haven't got engine feet. So when the engines vibrate, it's usually the engine beds will vibrate along with the engine. There's a little bit of play, and sometimes there's a coupling, a softer coupling, not a direct coupling to the shaft, because that, you know, cause it's all going to continuously have a little bit of a wiggle on as such, but that's not. So we've got fixed beds, engines being bolted directly to the bed, so the coupling and the shaft that comes through, so the coupling for the gearbox and the other face for the shaft coupling needed to be pretty well exact, because there can be no play or movement in the engines whatsoever. So the ribs have been cut back shorter here to take the engine beds, and then we've glassed in some new sections of rib as well to the engine beds to complete this. And this compartment's pretty much complete now, apart from what we've got to do here. So the rib that's in here, we've got to continue this down across the bottom of the hull and back up and work around the tubes here. Okay, so we basically have to make sure that all the structure's back in the boat. Let's put the rib in, and then we can tie in a new piece of bulkhead into there, and then we can carry on this box back to the bulkhead. So we're basically just rebuilding this centre section here, and then the same will happen for the P brackets in the stern. So we've got the P brackets there that stick out the bottom of the hull, and then we've had to cut out a section of the rib so they can make sure the P bracket is glassed into the boat correctly, and then we'll have to rebuild these ribs back around the P bracket. They'll then have a box made on the top of that, and then they'll be backfilled with some rebar sticking through the holes you might be able to see there, just in the tops of the P bracket. Okay, so then it just stops any twisting and anything happening there. And then same again, as we need to rebuild this other rib back through the boat, just so we've got all this structure back in with what we've got going on. Okay, so it's a nice boat. Wheelhouse is pretty much complete. Glassed the gunnel ring to the bulwarks the other day, and we've got the hatches and things like that on the back here. So we're just pushing on, and then what's actually going to go in this compartment is the fuel tanks. So we've got this box that drops back into the keel. You can see the V at the bottom of here, drops back into here, and then the fuel tanks will sit on this shelf, sit on the centre, and then on the port side shelf as well. So we're going to get on through today. We've sort of got to the end of the month to get all of these compartments cosmetically ready, and ready to get the engines back in and the shafts and everything all reinstated.